Hey guys, welcome back to Sparkman Homestead. I am sitting on my couch eating some apples, going through a canning book because I took my apples finally out of the fridge this morning and I am going to get started with some apple activities. So Stephen has requested some apple chips. Last year I made these delicious dehydrated apples. They weren't really chips because they weren't crunchy, but they were really chewy and they were delicious. So I'm going to make them again this year and I'm going to write down the recipe that I used because guess what? I have no evidence of what I actually did last year. I did not write down what I used, like the ingredients, what the recipe was, where I got it from. So I think I found one online that looks pretty similar to what I did last year. So I'm going to use that recipe. I will link it down below for you guys. But because the two things that we're making today, we're going to make some, what did I just say? Dehydrated apples. And we're also going to make some apple butter. These activities require a lot of time to do. So the apple butter has to cook down for a really long time. And obviously the apples have to dehydrate. So this is probably going to be like a two-part, potentially a three-part video. It will span through many days. So we're going to get the project started. I'm going to finish my apples and I'm just sitting on the couch, just relaxing. It is cold outside. It's just rainy and cold. It says it's 58 outside right now, but feels like 54. Pretty sure it was Wednesday night. We had a frost come through. This was not expected. They were saying that our lows were supposed to be in the 40s and it just dropped. I was so sad. I looked outside and I seen the frost on the ground. I went out and checked all of my stuff. I did do a huge Instagram post on it, just showing all of the stuff. I haven't gone back out there to check and see how it's done, if it's survived or not. We haven't had a frost since, and we're not supposed to have a frost again for, I think, at least a week or two now. It was just a weird random frost, but came early. So I am going to have to probably this week also go and get my peppers picked. But yeah. So I'm going to finish eating this apple and then we will get started with our apple activities. I had to come out and feed the rabbits and the chickens. And this is what my plant looks like. Uh-oh. It definitely got frost damage. It's sad though because look at some of them were flowering. I'm wondering if I could like harvest these and still use them. I don't know. I don't think so. Oh, so sad. Man. Cosmos did good though. Let's see what the peppers look like. They actually look okay. They look like they need to be picked. They're not. Yeah, they got damaged for sure. We'll come out and pick them later though. Not today because it's raining out. But all of the holy basil, that all got damaged. So I'll have to get back here and pull all of this stuff out. Just looks like a burnt ground. I seen something running on the ground over here. Oh, it was just a bird. Tomatoes were unfazed though. Oh, that's cool. They didn't get damaged at all. Huh. I do have to come back here and harvest this. This is my lemongrass. So I need to get that harvested. I'm really hoping to actually get these 5 beds because I usually cannot get back here because it floods back here really bad. Like you can't tell right now because we haven't had rain in so long, but normally this is completely underwater. We call this our mini pond. Normally that is so much underwater and this whole back area is underwater. And then when it's not underwater, it's so high of weeds. So I hardly get back here. Oh, this eggplant. I didn't even realize, because again, I don't get back here very often, that I even had eggplants on here. So maybe I'll get those picked also. They're pretty small, but I could do something with them. Anyways, I want to get those 5 beds. We have a tractor, so I'm going to see if I can get the tractor bucket and kind of scoop up underneath them and move the beds over to this area, but they're just not practical here, and I really didn't use them this year other than like the eggplant, which I completely forgot about, and the lemongrass, which because it's back here I keep forgetting that I need to harvest it, and I really need to get out here and weed and get some amendments put down for the fall. These are just all weeds, but they should be fairly easy to pull out. Okay, I'm gonna go in because I'm getting soaking wet. I have my measly little eggs. Some of the chickens are molting and they're not laying very much anyways right now because the daylight hours are getting shorter. Ooh, got rain everywhere. Got my box of apples out of the fridge. They've been sitting out for a while now. Like I showed you guys in last week's video, we definitely have some soft apples, so we really need to get these processed. I was really hoping to be able to at least save some of these, but I guess because I got seconds, they're not really ones that are going to last long term in storage. These are a gala apple that we're using, so they are considered a sweet apple, which is perfect for the two recipes that we're doing. Both of them actually call to use gala. Now the apple butter that we're going to make, it does say that you can do half and half. If you like more of a tartar apple butter, it says that you can use some Granny Smith in this, but we like a sweet one, so we're going to use all galas, and hopefully we'll be able to use up this big box. I actually still want to go out to the Amish and pick up more fresh eating apples to keep in storage. I'm really loving the ambrosia kind right now, and I got some last year and it actually kept until about February, March, which was amazing for an apple. So I do want to go out this week and pick up some more. I think that those markets are actually closing in a couple of weeks, so I want to get out there and get those apples before they close. So I also got out my crock pot. This is a somewhat of a large crock pot. I'm going to double the recipe for the apple butter today. I picked up this crock pot at an estate sale and I think I paid $2 for it. So always be on the lookout at estate sales, garage sales, yard sales, church sales, anything like that. Even sometimes you can get these online auctions and they have stuff for dirt cheap. Before going out and purchasing something brand new, I would highly recommend checking those types of places out first, because you can end up saving a lot of money. Like $2 for this, literally it looks like it's never been used before. It is more of a vintage one, but it looks like it's never been used. So I was going to get my big turkey roaster oven out, but I have found that when making things like apple butter, it only cooks the outside of the butter and not in the actual inside. It doesn't make it any more concentrated in the middle. So I'm going to try to use the crock pot and see how that works. I need my chopper. Actually not going to use the chopping feature in this. I am going to use the, what is it, like the slicer, the mandolin part of it. The chopper that I have, it actually has two features. You can do the push down chopping or you can do the slicing. I'm really selling it. I'm actually not sponsored by this company at all. I just really love it. We need this thing so we don't slice our fingers. This has got to be the #1 tool in the kitchen for losing fingers. So I think we're gonna get started with the apple butter first. We're gonna get our apples sliced. So we're gonna weigh our apples because it does suggest to use the weight of it. And it says to weigh the apples before they are chopped, cored, peeled, all of that stuff. The recipe that I'm actually using suggests to not peel the apples and you're gonna immersion blend them later on. But I'm going to peel them because I don't want to have to worry about apples like slices in there not getting pureed up enough. So I'm just going to peel them. You don't have to. This recipe looks like it is super simple. You can literally just core the apples, dice them, put them in the crock pot. So we're doubling it. So we need 11 pounds. Oh, I'm in grams. I need to change that. I think I need a bigger bowl. I'm trying to also use more of the soft apples than the harder ones, because I'm going to save the harder ones for making the apple chips. That's 10.10 pounds. So we're almost there. 10, 14. So there we go. 11 pounds. So this is what we have left. We still have a lot of them. I know that I'd actually mentioned a while ago that I was going to show you guys how to do apple cider with using fresh apples, but I actually decided against doing that because we prefer to have the dried apple chips plus the apple butter. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to save my apple peelings and do like the apple scrap jelly with it, because I mean that is delicious and we don't really have any of that kind of jelly in the pantry. And as I'm saying this, I need to wash them first if I'm going to save them. I already started one, so I'll just give those peelings to the chickens, but we'll wash all the other ones. Oh, some of these are really, really soft. Again, if you want to not do this step, the recipe actually recommends not to peel them. So you could just even bypass this step. I'm just trying to get a really smooth apple butter, and I feel like if I don't do this step, I'm gonna get kind of a clumpy apple butter, and I don't want that. And also the recipe that I am following online, and again, I'm gonna leave it linked for you guys. It does not give any canning directions with it. I am going to use the Ball canning book. I'll show you guys which one I'm gonna use. Oh, and this apple is really, really soft. I'm gonna use the apple butter directions in this canning book for the canning. A lot of people in the comments on that recipe have said, is this recipe canning safe? And the author did say yes. Now, she did not elaborate on, you know, the exact canning methods, but I looked at the ingredients and they're very, very similar to the Ball canning book. It's just a hair bit different, but it's not different in the way that it makes it unsafe to can. So I'm going to follow the directions for the canning in that particular cookbook. I am so sorry about the bad lighting in here. It is just completely pitch dark outside and it is only 5 o'clock. It's dark because it's been raining all day and just a gloomy day, but the lighting is not so good in here in the night. That's why I usually do my projects with you guys during the day. I have an actual apple peeler. Oh my goodness. My mom bought this for me for Christmas a couple years ago, and if it is put away and I don't actually see it, then I forget I have it. But this is going to make this go a lot faster. Today we're going to use all of the sharp utensils. The apple on. Since Steven's at home, I'm going to solicit him to do the peeling so that I can get the chopping done, because these apples are starting to go a little bit yellow because I don't have them in a lemon water. So he's going to do the peeling for me while I get the chopping done. We're going to tag team this. It's a Sunday, so I have the opportunity to have a sous chef. I guess I need to show him how to use it. Before I put the apple on, I try to get this blade here back here so that I don't end up cutting myself. So just slip the apple on all the way and then just turn it the other way, because you want this to go this way, and kind of hold this down with your hand, and then yep, just go turn. And then just keep turning it until it gets back to this spot. Starting spot. Yep. And then I am going to get these chopped while he is doing that. So the recipe does say to slice them into really small diced pieces. Let's use our chopper like we did last week when we were making that cranberry jam. Let's use that, and then that way we'll for sure get them diced into really small pieces. And I'm saving the cores as well to go into that jelly. And I wish I could show you both of us, but my kitchen, as you can see, not the best. It's not the best for filming. I know I said it last week, but this thing is amazing for preservation season. And I'm not too concerned with bruises on them. I mean, if there's really big, like, holes in them, then I'm going to cut that away. But if it's just a regular bruise, it's fine. I got my crock pot insert. I'm going to dump all the apple slices into the crock pot. It'll look like that. Getting the last of the apples chopped up. Our crock pot is very, very full. I'm hoping that all these apples fit in there. There was only 2 apples that we actually had to end up giving to the chickens. They were a little too soft, like really, really, really too soft. But we have more than enough apples in here. Stephen is just helping me by cutting some potatoes for our supper. I made a corned beef for tonight. He's gonna put some potatoes and carrots in the water. Just gonna clean up the counter a little bit. We've got a lot of sticky apples everywhere. All right, let's get our apples in here. Again, I'm hoping that we did not overfill this. Probably did. Okay, so in a medium-sized bowl, we're gonna get our sugar mixed together. So we're gonna use 1 cup of brown sugar. I know I always prefer to use honey with this, but I'm gonna do sugar in this particular situation. And we'll add the brown sugar to the bowl. And then we're just gonna use a regular organic cane sugar. And we're gonna do 3/4 cup of that. The Ball Blue Book actually has, I think, 6 cups of sugar in their recipe. So that was the other reason why I preferred this recipe, because it didn't have as much sugar in it. Because to me, 6 cups is insane. It's just insane. And then we're gonna do 1, oh, we doubled this. We doubled this. So I need more sugar. I need to make more brown sugar. Okay, let's just get these in here first. So we're gonna do 1 tablespoon of cinnamon, so 2 tablespoons. And we're gonna do 1/4 teaspoon of salt, so 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Ground cloves is 1/8 of a teaspoon, so we'll do 2 of those. And this you just need a little bit of because it does go a very long way. One year I put way too many cloves in my recipe and I was not happy with the way it turned out. Give that a stir, and then I'm gonna have to get some brown sugar made. I'll show you guys how easy it is to make. We're gonna use our mixer and we're gonna use the whisk attachment. You can also do this with a hand mixer. It just would take a little bit longer. Having a mixer to do this makes it really quick. So we're gonna take our white sugar and just add it to the mixture. Mixer, I keep saying mixture. I really just eyeball everything. I'm maybe adding 4 cups of sugar in here. And then we're gonna take some molasses. I like to add about a tablespoon per cup if I'm doing like a somewhat darker brown sugar, but if I'm doing like a light brown sugar, then I'm probably 2 to 4 cups. Just gonna maybe add 3 cups of, or not cups, tablespoons of molasses. Do not add cups of molasses. That would not be good. Okay, and then just turn it on, plug it in first, plug it in. Now we can turn it on. I'm gonna stop it for a second and get a spatula. Probably gonna actually end up adding a little bit more white sugar to this because this is pretty dark for my liking. I like it a little lighter than this. Add a little bit more white sugar to this. Really good to make this time of year because molasses usually goes on sale. So stock up on it while it's on sale. And it stores forever. Like I buy usually my molasses in gallons and then I just pour it into here and it lasts a really, really, really long time. It's really shelf stable. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Now I just put it in my sugar container. And I use one of these little sugar bears and it helps the brown sugar from going hard. It keeps it nice and soft. You can even get a terracotta pot and put a piece of the pot in here and it does the exact same thing because this is made with terracotta. We're gonna get the crock pot plugged in. We're gonna put it on low. And then we've got all of our sugar in here now. It smells amazing. Because it's such a tight spot in here, I want to really get this all mixed and combined because when I get it in here, it's going to be hard to stir it because I've overfilled it. It's going to be overflowing right now, but once this cooks down, this will obviously reduce and it won't be a problem. It's just a problem right now. We want to put the mixture in here and just make sure that it gets good and stirred and everything is coated in it. I'm not going to add any liquid to this. These apples are sweet enough and they're going to release enough juice. I feel if we add liquid, plus the recipe just does not say to add liquid, but I feel by adding liquid, It's gonna make our cook down time a lot longer. Plus the sugar is gonna melt and create a nice sugar juice. So we're gonna put the lid on, and again, we have it on low, so we are gonna leave this for 10 hours. So I'm just gonna leave it on low overnight. Before I go to bed, I will come in and give it a good stir and just make sure that everything's still really good and combined. One nice thing about this recipe is you can just kind of leave it, but it does say about 10 hours. So I'm gonna take these apple scrap pieces and just put them into a Ziploc baggie. I'm not going to be able to do the jelly tonight, so I just want to put these away for when we do have time to make that jelly, because I need to get those other apples in the dehydrator so that they can go overnight also. And I don't think we're gonna use all of these. I'm thinking that this bag might be enough. So we're gonna try to hammer through and get these dehydrated apples ready to go into the dehydrator overnight. So I've solicited Stephen again, my helper.
Apple peeler.
This is very rare. Do not think that this happens all the time.
Whatever.
Rare. This is a rare occurrence. So I asked him if he wanted to keep the peelings on or not, and he's the one that actually requested these dried apple slices, and he said he'd prefer no peelings. So he is peeling them because I would have left the peelings on. So we're gonna actually triple this recipe. I will leave this one linked for you guys as well. And because we want to have nice ring apples, you can do them diced if you want, but we prefer the rings. We need to get the cores out. So I'm going to use this little tool. I have no idea where I got this. If I had to guess, I'm going to say Goodwill. And then we got the core out. The only thing I don't like about this is I can't get the core out of here really easy. So no seeds or core in there. We're only going to use 15 apples for this. The original recipe says 5 apples, but we really like them, and they store for a super long time because they're dehydrated, so they have no moisture. It's a good little snack. And my apple slicer unfortunately does not core it. I know you can get ones that have the coring feature on it, but mine unfortunately does not. So I just use this little tool. Okay, next up we're going to use the deadly machine. So I'm going to use this thing with it. It's a little piece that it will help you from cutting your fingers. That one's pretty thick. And so that is a nice thin apple slice. Want them super thin when you are dehydrating them, and we will put them in the bowl for now. I don't really want to put the thicker ones in there because they'll take a little bit longer. I will just have these as a snack. Got them all sliced up and in a bowl. We're gonna set that aside. We need to get a seasoning mixture made. It calls for a juice of 1 lemon. So I have 1 lemon, and the rest I'm gonna use some lemon juice because I need to get this used up. Now I'm looking everywhere on here, and it does not tell me the conversion of what is equal to 1 lemon. It just says that in this bottle it's equal to 40 lemons, and I'm not trying to do the math. So I'm going to say about 1.5 tablespoons is going to represent 1 lemon. So we're going to juice this actual lemon that we have, and we're going to put it into this bowl. I'm going to get the seeds out of here too, because I don't want that. So this looks about 1.5 tablespoons, almost 2 tablespoons. I must have a small cut. Ouch. Okay, so we're 3 timesing this recipe. So we're gonna add, let's say that's 1 lemon. And woo, perfect. That's 2 lemons. So we have 3 lemons in here. Ooh, that cut is burning. 2 tablespoons of sugar. So we're just gonna use this organic cane juice. Again, we're timesing it by 3. 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. I'm just giving you the single recipe measurements. Okay, and then we have some nutmeg, and that calls for 1/2 teaspoon. And then optional is some vanilla extract, and it calls for 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. I'm using a measuring spoon for vanilla. Usually I don't. Okay, we're gonna whisk this together now. And the recipe does say that it's fine if it's lumpy. We're gonna take our apples and put them into a gallon-size baggie. If you're just doing a single recipe, obviously you're not gonna have this many apples, but we love them. And I'm trying to get those apples used up. And we're gonna take our mixture and we're going to Pour it over the apples. Close the baggie up and we're gonna shake it. Make sure all of that seasoning gets on all of the apples. Got my dehydrator trays and we are gonna put the apples on. Now you wanna make sure that there's enough room so the apples can breathe properly. You don't wanna overlap them because then you will not get dried apples. You'll get mushy apples. So make sure that they are not touching. A lot of the apples broke when I shook the bag. We have a lot of apples, so I'm going to have to pack these trays really good. So if you do not have a dehydrator, you can do this in your oven. It's gonna take you a while to do it. You wanna put your oven onto the lowest setting. Most ovens, I think 200 is the lowest that they go. If yours can go lower than that, then that's perfect. We're gonna do ours, I think it's 130, my dehydrator sets for fruit. I'm gonna double check and see. We're gonna do them in the dehydrator, but if you don't have it, you can use your oven. Just put them on a cookie sheet and then dry them in there. It'll probably take about 4 or 5 hours in the oven to do this. It will make your house smell amazing. We're gonna use our dehydrator. We're using the Excalibur one. We're gonna set it to 135 and we're gonna do it all night. So I'm gonna set it to only about 15 hours. That is it for tonight. All of our recipes just need to chill out and just thicken and just dry and reduce. So that's perfect. We got that done. I'm gonna go and help Stephen with supper. It's almost ready. He's starving. So am I, actually. I'm a little hungry. Anyways, I will see you guys tomorrow and we'll check up on our apple butter and see how those slices are. See you guys tomorrow. Good morning, guys. Okay, we are going to check the, let there be light. We're gonna check the apple butter because I can smell it and it kind of smells like it's potentially burning, so we'll see. Let's check and see what it looks like. Ooh. It looks nice and brown. It does smell a little burny, and I have this on low, but I think it's fine. I don't think it's burnt. Doesn't look like there's any burn spots on it. I just wanted to get in here and stir it before I started anything for the day because it was smelling a little strong from upstairs. So we actually have to immersion blend this now. I am just going to kind of finish my stuff that I needed to do and then we'll immersion blend it. And then it has to sit for another probably 3 to 4 hours because it's pretty runny still. Today is another rainy, gloomy day. Ugh. Perfect for inside chores today. Let's check our apple slices and see how they're doing. Ooh, looking good. Ooh, they're looking really good. They just have a little bit more to go because you can see they're still kind of chewy. We want them a little bit more dehydrated than that. But let's taste one. This guy back in here and close this back up. Let's try this. Very, very candy-like. Yeah, these just need a little, I would say maybe a couple more hours. Okay, let's get to immersion blending this. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Give it a stir. So you can see it's still really runny. This right now would be a really good applesauce texture, in my opinion. I mean, some people might like their apple butter like this. I like my apple butter to be a little bit thick because my favorite way to actually eat this is on toast. Where I grew up, we used to live very close to, well, not very close, but we used to live somewhat close to a Mennonite community. I always grew up having access to really good farmers markets and Amish and Mennonite communities. So anyways, when I was a kid, I remember apple season coming around and getting apple butter from the market. And it was my favorite thing to have on toast. It's just so delicious. So I love making it every year. It kind of reminds me of my childhood eating apple butter on toast. but this needs a couple more hours. The recipe does state after you immersion blend it, just to leave it on that low temperature for about 3 hours, and this will thicken up. If you don't have an immersion blender, you can definitely take this out and put it into like a regular blender, a food processor. You can even use a food mill with this. This is one of the reasons why I didn't want to use skins in it, because now I have a super, super smooth texture. It looks delicious. It kind of looks like a barbecue sauce right now. But we'll leave this be for about 3 more hours. All right, I wanted to come back because I actually forgot to do one step with this apple butter now that we've pureed it. I know that I added the vanilla extract last night to it. You're actually not supposed to add it at night. You're supposed to do it after you've pureed it. One thing it suggests to do is to take a vanilla bean, slice it in half, and then just grate that vanilla bean into here. So we're gonna do that. So I just took a vanilla bean out of my vanilla extract and I just cut down the middle of the vanilla bean. Need to cut a little bit more. Whoopsie, I'm getting vanilla bean everywhere. Now this vanilla bean is pretty spent because I've been using it for extract for a very long time. So it doesn't have a lot of life left in it, but it does have some. Because that vanilla bean was pretty spent, it didn't have a lot of seeds in it, I'm going to use some of this vanilla paste that I got from Sam's Club. It just has a guava, I don't know how to say that, vanilla bean powder and pure vanilla extract. So it does have some sweetener in it. I'm just going to add a little bit to this. I would say maybe a 1/4 teaspoon. And then we'll stir that in. And also it does mention to leave your lid off of it the last couple of hours of cooking, because you want all that moisture to evaporate into the air. And if you keep that lid on, it's just going to keep the moisture in here. So you want to take the lid off. I just want to give it a little taste test now that we added that vanilla. Let's see if it tastes really vanilla-y. It's very, very hot though. Tastes good. The vanilla, you can't really taste it in there. But that tastes really, really good. I like this recipe. Have to head to the post office. I'm actually meeting somebody. I am getting rid of a lot of my Pyrex collection, so she is going to buy some of my bowls. I'm going through my collection and just kind of getting rid of the pieces that I don't love. So I'm going to sell this set. It's not really a set. I've just put together some pieces from my collection. Anyways, I'm going to go to the post office and meet her, and then when I get back, we can get done the canning. This is finally ready. I'll show you guys the consistency of it. I think it is perfect. You see how slow it drips? I just took my jars out of the canner, so they are nice and hot. So we are going to ladle these into the jars, and I am using 1/2 pint jars. The Ball Blue Book says you can do these in 1/2 pints or in pints. We just would not eat a full pint just because it's just usually the 2 of us. So I'm going to use 1/2 pints for mine. But the canning time is exactly the same regardless of what you're using. And again, I'm following the Ball Blue Book instructions for canning apple butter. And we are going to leave a 1/4 inch headspace. We need to get these debubbled now, and if we need to, we'll adjust the headspace. There was a little bit left over that I didn't have enough to do a full jar, so we have a little bit for the fridge right now. Okay, this back one needs a touch bit more. We need to get our rag and clean these really, really good. They are very, very sticky. Put our lids on. And then when we get our rings on, to fingertip tight. Get them put into the water bath canner. I have a little bit too much water in here, so I'm going to take some out. There we go. Get our lid on and bring these up to a full rolling boil. We just removed some water because you only need to have about 1 inch to 2 inches of water over top of your jars to safely water bath can. if you have too much water, it's just going to take forever to boil. So you don't need that much in there. So I just removed it. According to the Ball Blue Book, those need to can for 10 minutes. So once they come to a full rolling boil, we'll start our timer, and then we will water bath can those for 10 minutes. The other thing that finished was the apples. So I just have them sitting on the dehydrator trays. Want them to come to room temperature and make sure that there is absolutely no moisture whatsoever in them. Because we will be storing them, I don't want any moisture in the bag. So we would just want to make sure that they're completely dry. I'll probably leave them in there for a day, and then after the day, I'll just take them out and then put them into a baggie. We'll probably eat through them pretty quickly because they are amazing. But anything that I don't think we'll eat through quickly, I will just vacuum seal, and then that will be perfectly safe to store on the shelf because it's already dehydrated. There should be no moisture left in it. Our timer went off for these. I'm gonna take the lid off, turn the heat down, bring these and put it into the other room. We will leave those rest in there for about 5 minutes. Then we'll take them out, let them cool for 12 to 24 hours. And after that, we'll take the rings off and put them on our pantry shelf. Hey guys, so it is now a couple of days later. I have finished the apple butter project. You can see them sitting over there. One of the jars actually did not end up sealing, and I had some of that apple butter on some toast yesterday morning. It was amazing. I am in the middle of editing this video, and I realized that it is going to be a very, very, very long video. I don't know if you noticed, but when I was canning that apple butter up, I had another pot on that stovetop and I was doing another project. My intent was to use those apple scraps to make a jelly with, and I started the process, but it ended up not turning out. It was an absolute fail. Well, it actually wasn't a fail, and you guys will see on Wednesday's video. I'm actually going to put a bonus video up for you guys on Wednesday showing you the little failure mistake that I made. It wasn't a mistake because it actually turned out to something amazing. Something I totally did not expect to make, but it was so, so good. We cannot get enough of it. I'm gonna put that bonus footage on a video for you guys on Wednesday. I'm gonna call it a bonus video. So I didn't end up doing a closing on the video. So I'm just coming back today just to say thank you guys so much for watching. There's the jars over there. I'm actually gonna get these jars put away on my pantry shelf today, and I'm going to get a pantry tour filmed. Yay! So hopefully I'll be able to have that video out for you guys next week. It will take me a little bit to actually edit that video because I'm going to try to link all of the videos of the things that I am showing you in my pantry, and that is probably going to take at least a week to get that edited. It does take a lot to edit those videos. So hopefully next week you guys will have the pantry tour. If not, it'll be coming up very soon. So thanks again, guys, for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you guys have a great day or night whenever you're watching this, and I will see you on the next video. Bye, guys.